What? Hey everyone, I'm Garrison and welcome back to the channel. So today, finally, I'll be doing my first listen / full-on review to Billie's second mini album called The Collective Soul and Unconscious Chapter 1. Now, I've been only hearing good things about this second mini album. The B-sides, of course, from you guys, from many other people out there, and only good things surrounding news headlines and stuff about Billlie, of course. Chuki and her latest viral fan cam where it's shown that she's been able to express herself like crazy in a good way throughout their performances of Ginga Minga Yo, which is still in the loop still to this day for me, believe it or not. I just love that sort of nursery rhyme, structure to the song. It's just super catchy, infectious, and all. But with this second mini album, I'm curious how this is gonna play out. Like I said when I was first checking out Ginga Minga Yo, hearing what shouldn't dude and come into play with the overall dynamic of Billlie in terms of the B-sides, right? And we have 4 B-sides here, and then we have a separate album, the OST based album, if I recall correctly, which I will not do a review of, but more so a listening party of. So if you guys are interested in that, let me know in the comment section down below. But I'm seeing familiar names, not necessarily names that have worked with Billlie in the past before, so that's going to be interesting with a change up of genres or styles per se. But yeah, aside from that, let's just get into this album review now. So this first track right here is called Assign tilde Anonymous. Now I'm seeing very familiar people working behind the scenes with Billlie for this particular song. I'm seeing Magician, and Magician, if you're not familiar, get familiar. I've covered Magician throughout my album reviews, sometimes here and there if I recall correctly when it comes to title tracks, but when it comes to title tracks and MV reaction and reviews, I don't always deep dive into the credits per se. But Magician has worked with the likes of NCT, the whole NCT lineup, like NCT Dream, NCT U if I recall correctly, Queendom by Red Velvet, as well as other Red Velvet tracks, Ding Ding Dong by Luna, and then we have Mayu Wakisaka. Mayu Wakisaka truly comes through with a lot of my favorites, the likes of Love Bomb by Fromis9, the likes of pretty much majority of the songs that you heard on Yena's latest debut mini album. Before anyone else, Look to You has worked quite extensively per se with Oh My Girl, and even on Yua's debut album, and of course has worked with G-Friend in the past before. And then I'm seeing Limon from Jumba's on the lyrics side. Now Limon has been a part with the likes of songs such as Oh Yes I Am, and I think several SM artist songs out there. So I have a feeling that this one's gonna be good based off of who worked with Billlie on this one. So let's just get into it. Ooh. Shun. Love this analog bass synthesizer in the beginning here. Oh. Ooh. There's a nice rhythm to this song. And it's so well executed in a smooth manner. Ooh. Okay. This is Shun, right? That's cool. There's like this brass sound in the back. Maybe some woodwind instruments that I heard earlier. But this song truly takes your body over. And this song is definitely connected in a way to their lore. Ooh, the hi-hats. Suwa. Something's coming. Woo. Wow. Oh. And how they work off of each other. It's like the combination of Chuki. Oh, and the strings here. Whoa. Okay. First things first, if we didn't get the credits and seeing who worked behind this track, I could already sense that Minjishin Mayuaki Saka influence on this song. Remember who I talked about who they worked with in the past before? And also to add to that, Minjishin has worked with Gowon Sonya as well. And I sense that sort of Gowon Sonya, Luna, Red Velvet-esque feel in this. But there's this shining, shimmering quality, or should I say characteristics, that truly make this more so a Billlie track, you know what I'm saying? And I think the best way I could really point that out is when we get into the second listen of this song. The reason why I am just so mind blown with this track is not only due to how it links closely to the lore and connects everything with that, with the lyrics in this. There's a nice tempo to this. There's a nice rhythm to this. There's with the groove of things that's made and done solely by the analog bass synthesizer that, you know, is so it gives you that electrifying feel, right? But then there's like these nuances upon this track where I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't believe they fit strings in this. I can't believe that they fit like some sort of woodwind instrument, if I recall correctly, or percussion instrument going on there. I felt like there was a bit of flute in here, you know, a lot of different instruments and elements on this, and a lot of shining moments that I need to point out. So we're gonna have to dive back into it with the second listen here. Let's just do that. Trying to hone in what I'm hearing, because there's a lot to take in with this one. So obviously there's that drum kit work with the analog bass synthesizer going on at the start here. And the vocal direction for this, just how the delivery is done in that kind of manner, is just, it works so well with the instrumentation done in this. Oh yeah, there's that woodwind instrument or some sort of percussion instrument that I gotta look out for. Yeah. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. That flute, I swear it's some sort of woodwind instrument or flute going in the back, adds so much, I believe, during Xian's part here. And the next thing you know, there's this like muted drum kit, like the padding, you know, the very, it's not too prominent, right? It's more so muted during Sua here, right? Hold, not now. Right here. Yeah. And then there's like the sampling or like brass instrument or a slight, you know, playing of the bit of saxophone in the back there, but not for a lengthy duration there. Oh my goodness. I feel like this is a type of song where you listen to it and you listen to it more, and in every listen it's just gonna be a whole different experience. You're gonna unravel things that you didn't notice and find out upon first listen, second listen, third listen, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's one of the strongest things that their A&R does with all these producers and songwriters to do, is to add in these nuances and really be able to, even though there's all these things going on at the same time ever so slightly as the song progresses, it sets up Billlie so well so we could really admire their vocal delivery and projection in their songs, and I think that's a huge thing. I love Haram's parts in this song so much, though. But then, this comboing between Chuki and Shun is everything, guys. Really love the comboing, how they work off each other. Almost like ad-lib work coming from Chuki, right? Yeah. And we actually hear the strings not later in the song, we hear it early on here, I believe. You hear that? Like the tugging of the strings in the back ever so slightly, but not for a lengthy duration compared to the analog synthesizer that's going on in this. Yet the delivery of the vocals and the projection of the vocals is done not that like brief with it, like the instrumentation, the nuances in here. It's done back and forth like the seesaw manner, but then when it's just solely one member, the lines are more so dragged, and I love that sort of contrast dynamic going on there. Do 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 do. Yeah. There's that, either some sort of percussion instrument or that flute, that woodwind instrument. Bit of that brass or sampling or sax going on there. Very easy to listen to. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying with the dragging of the lines? And then bridge. I just love the husk as always. The husk behind Moonsua's voice is just such a great trait from Moonsua, and she with her voice between all the other members' unique vocal colors adds a lot more depth into the group's sound. You know what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? The showcasing of the vocals, they're able to flex their vocals and mold it around the song. Now the strings are more prominent here, or for a lengthier duration. I know we're on the first track, but this is so far my favorite B-side on this mini album, and one of my favorite B-sides out of their discography between the first mini album, I've got to admit. I can see a lot of replay value to this song. I can, like I said, I could see that sort of experience thing come into play with more and more listens, and surely there's like a performance or like a live singing session of this song, right guys? Because if there is, I'm gonna have to check it out. But hey, let's just get into the next B-side now. So this next song is called Overlap 1/1. Always interesting to see how the stylizing and typography and everything's done when it comes to Stacy's tracks, how they're being titled and all. But I am seeing Minjishin again, of course, Limon from Jumbas, and other names that I'm gonna have to familiarize myself after this album review. So let's just get into Overlap 1/1 now. Oh, let's turn it up here a bit. Ooh. Starting off with Sua for the first verse, I believe. Whoa! Love the piano work and like trap percussion that's coming in. Ooh, Shiundo. Love how it picks up. Verse 2 with Moonsua now, but there's that sort of brass transition that I like. Yeah, see that? Or hear that, I should say. Really great breakdown of this, but like most importantly, this melodic progression in the structure of this song that's going on. Yeah. Oh, the hi-hats. That's Chuki, right? Ooh. Oh, that I can't do it myself. Ooh. Man, the 808s and bass going on with the hi-hats. Oh, and it just ends like that. Not gonna lie, I wish this song would be slightly longer, you know? But aside from that, this is a great song. And I do feel that influence again, not as heavily as the previous one, but not often you hear songs have that melodic progression in the structure of the entirety of the structure of any song out there, right? Really loved Xian's parts in this, really loved Munsua in this, as well as Chuki's parts ever so slightly in this. And it has that sort of like lobby music feel to it, but in a good way, you know what I'm trying to say? Because most lobby music is very sleeper and all, but this one has nice, like, brisk, full energy to it. Again, it connects in a way I can sense it, you know, connecting back to the lore, which they've been continuing to do so and all. I really do think there is some vocal effects done in this that I'm gonna have to point out, and then there's some elements that I'm gonna have to figure out upon second listen. So let's just dive back into it. Yeah, there's like that muted trumpet or muted brass sound that works like that. Drew. Some sort of brass sound. Very minimal at the start here. I'm like, okay, but where's this headed to, right? And then we start kicking in more with the trap percussion, but not all of elements of trap percussion or instruments, you know what I'm saying? It's easing us in. The hi-hats. B-side. And this is like the moment where I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm feeling the song. Once it goes from this moment right here, the 11V side with Suyun, and then we get into Haram, and then obviously Chuki with the. But right here, I notice now. There's a bit of the shakers going on in the back. Do 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 do. Pick up. Man, the delivery again of the vocals is, I'm like, anything I've heard. Just that distorting of that bass, so good. B-side. Yeah, there's definitely the shakers there. The 1, 2, 3, 4. Where we go. Oh my goodness, I love how it's so brief with it, the delivery on it. Just the way that Haram is so effortlessly coming through, scaling up, scaling down. The way that she's able to do that, like, her range is incredible. Hey! Just literally serenading us. That, you know, and then there's that extra emphasis, you know, with that bass, the 808s, the hi-hats, the snare going on. A little bit of the OK, the AA by Moonsuwa too that I just noticed. Incredible. My second favorite B-side on this mini album. It seems like I'm just gonna end up loving every B-side, huh? Okay, let's just continue that. That's probably gonna be the case, but yeah, let's just get into the next one now. So this next B-side is called Moon Palace, and there's a lot of emphasis on the moon part as it's in all caps. And then there's the different, you know, sides of the moon for the O's in the styling or the titling of Moon Palace here. Seeing some familiar names again, of course, the likes of Minjishan, but I'm gonna have to familiarize myself after this again for everyone else who took part on Moon Palace here. So let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, a little dialogue there. Wow. Oh. Oh. Whoa. What is going on? The beating of the heart, the strings. Ooh. What? Oh my goodness. Just the piano with the beating heart here. The strings? Hey! Hey! Oh! The rolling of the film there, the phone. It's that time, it's our time. No way. Again, I have a problem with, okay, I'm so conflicted right now. I have a problem with songs that are in these awkward realms of the duration of 150 seconds to like 220. Is it just me? Because this seems like a common occurrence. I mean, I've heard it in one of Kepler's B-sides. I've heard it from Yuju, but at least they, you know, titled it as intro for one of the tracks, and I think it was even shorter than that. It was like 155. But this song deserves a full 3 minutes, the very least, guys. It deserves a bridge. As some of you may know, majority of the time, when songs don't have a bridge, I don't really mess with it because I feel like there's something missing to add to it. Unless it's deliberately done in a way that is not over repetitive, but has that refreshing feel to it per se, that's like, oh wow, this is a great surprise to hear on the album, and it shows a different side. And obviously this shows a different side and all, but this, compared to the other 2 tracks that I listened to, this is more and more so Billlie themselves. I mean, what's there to be said? The sampling that's going on in this song, the dialogue right there of the ladies and gentlemen, you know, at the start as the intro and then ending as the outro. The way that Billlie plays off each other in that kind of dynamic manner. And I think Moon Palace works in terms of how the tracks are laid out, the track listing for this mini album. I'm gonna have to talk more about that after I wrap up this album with the next track. I believe there's one more after this, but this song is so good. It's so good to the point where if it was just much more longer, it would be my favorite B-side on the mini album. That's why I'm so conflicted. But guys, with that being said, I'm gonna have to go back from the beginning here, at the start of this song, and really try to break it down here, because there's a lot to contemplate, a lot to think about and digest in this song. The dialogue, the sampling, the yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is time, that time, it is our time. I love that ring a ring ring, and then that the pressing of the phone, the dialing going on here. And then there's this. I don't know what that miscellaneous sound that's going on behind Moonsua, but I really love the hi-hats, the percussion work in this. But it's more prominently mixed and mastered on the right side of my ear, or my pair of ears. Now this is the heartbeat sampling going on here with this piano, which is quite interesting, and somehow it oddly works in that kind of succession. Hey, just how I believe this is Shion, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I love how there's that, it's very repetitive in that manner from her. Whoa. Yeah. So there are Vocaloid effects in this one, clearly. But it's more heavily in this one, here and there. Ring a ring ring. I think this is like the best way to put it, you know. It's as shocking as their debut song Ring X Ring, but it's more adorable and sweet with it, you know what I'm saying? It's like almost they added like candy or sugar into the cauldron and mixed it up and came through with Moon Palace here. Yeah, there's that miscellaneous sound that I can't identify. Vocal layering is great in this as well. Hey! Still to this day, Haram. Haram's like voice just captures me so much, but I felt a lot of Shun's presence in this alongside with Moonsuwa. The rolling of the film, the dialing of the phone. It's our time, tell 'em. Oh my goodness, Moon Palace, even though it's more brief than a regular length type song, I can see myself listening to the song, and I think that's the clear thing. There's some songs that I feel like are too short. I find myself listening to here and there, but Moon Palace is just that song that it's just so good to the point where I gotta put it in the loop, gotta put it in the repetitions, you know what I'm saying? But let's just get into the final track, I believe, and then I'll wrap things up on this album review. So this final track is called Believe. Now, many of y'all are saying this is another fan song for us, and all we love to see it. Of course, all the members took part on writing the lyrics for this song with others. We love to see it as well. And I am seeing Collapsed, who has worked with a lot of JYP artists, you know, the likes of Day6, the likes of course Twice, and we have Justin Reinstein, who has worked with many huge K-pop acts out there, as well as mainstream pop artists as well, if I recall correctly. I've covered him a lot in my album reviews and all, but let's just get into Believe now. Whoa, let's turn up this song. I have a good feeling already about this song. It's a fan song though. Oh, Sua. Oh, Shun. Oh, Haram. So this is a pop ballad? Yes, it is. Oh, love the synthesizer work. The snare and drum kit work too. Hey! Oh my. Oh. The lyrics in the song though, love it. On the strings in the back there. Yes. With you who waited for us, I will walk. Hey, I love that emphasis at the end of the line there. Oh, where's this going? Very hopeful, very uplifting. Just imagine seeing them perform this live on the stage or at a concert. Oh my goodness. We even got a good amount of Chuki and the likes of Haruna in this, I believe. But this song has to be my second favorite one. Hands down. On this second mini album. As some of you may know, as much as I love my upbeat songs, I love my ballads. And especially pop ballads. You don't necessarily need to wait for a certain season to listen to this or the certain setting to listen to it. Very uplifting, bright, consoling in some kind of manner. And it's all about pushing on and continuing on. And I love that sort of small message that it's behind it. But really directing it towards us, you know, and them. And out of all the fan songs, I really, really love this one. But mind you, I could still see Billlie perform, you know, at a concert, perform Flower World and all. In contrast to Flower World, I'd get really, very emotional. But for Believe here, it's something very, very special that I feel like with more listens, I'm going to end up being able to, you know, sing along to it. There's a lot of longevity sense that, or what I'm sensing here. But Believe, ooh, this song, pop ballad and all, I want to just dive right back into it. I don't know if there's a lot to say about like the instrumentation, because usually when I really, really love a song, there's a lot to say, but it's pretty straightforward with it. Arrangement wise, how everything was composed, but I think I need to hone in more to the lyrics, you know, and appreciate that here. Yeah, Munsu at the start here, of course, there's sometimes lost in translation. At the end of a hard and tiring day, imagine us of a shining tomorrow. Ooh. It's just incredible to hear Shen shine throughout like all of these tracks. And then when Aram comes through, it's very distinct as well. Suyeon, huge part in the vocal department for their songs and in Believe here. Just the influx, the breakthrough moment with Suyeon here is just amazing, right? If you believe, even if a little clumsy, even sometimes it's hard, if you believe, will you believe me? Where has this song been all my life? I needed this earlier, but man. That Noah na ham care, you and me together. Oh my goodness, that emphasis there. Love the claps in this that's going on. And then I need to see a performance of this, guys. Without a doubt, I need to. Both, like, somewhere on the web and in person. I think there's a huge thing to point out here, but I love the addition of the strings that's going, like, in the back. They're not necessarily swirling, but they're just nicely done in the back there. It's more prominent here. And I think that had to do with a lot of the mixing and mastering there with the strings. Now here, like, the strings are more so being tugged, right? The snare drum build up. Hey. Yeah, see what I'm saying with Chuki and Haruna? That moment there. Bit of the horns in this, admittedly, like earlier here. Beautiful, and how it wraps up and ends there, right? I believe with Chuki. Ooh, what an album! What an album! To break it down here, right? And then before talking about my favorites in order for this second mini album, I've got to admit I had a huge bias for Billlie. Not the one being like, oh, I've been following them for quite some time now, and like being introduced by all the into all the members, thanks to Moonsua. And next thing you know, of course, getting into Shun on that survival show and all. I think it's more so the bias of when I heard Ring X Ring, I'm like, yes, I really love this unconventional, unorthodox sound that they went through. And also, not only that, majority of the B-sides do that, you know? And I had that sort of expectation going into Ginga Minga Yo that they would end up doing something similar to that. But they switched it up. They switched it up in a way that, of course, came through with a good amount of rap, significant parts given to Shun, like very iconic parts per se, and a concept that truly fits Billlie, you know what I'm saying? Even though there's not a lot of that unorthodox, unconventional feel to it, at least the lore and the storyline is just so extensive and very well detailed, you know what I'm saying? But very expressive this time around with Ginga Minga Yo, a very nursery rhyme structure-esque feel to it. But for this one, I feel like we get the best of both worlds, you know what I'm saying? We get another fan song, right? And as much as I really love the meaning behind Flower World and how even more meaningful that song is, I believe is one of the ones that stick out a little bit more for me in terms of how it's more like uplifting in that very upbeat manner, right? As it is a pop ballad, and how it ties everything together with Shun so well, like into like a red ribbon like present, you know what I'm trying to say here. And the other reason why I feel like we get the best of both worlds is the likes of Moon Palace. A lot of sampling, the dialing of the phone, that dialogue here at the intro and the outro of the song for Moon Palace. The titling, the styling of the B-sides, like the Assign Anonymous and then Overlap, well, One by One, and then Moon Palace, the O's being moons, of course. We get the best of both worlds, where we get a good amount of that unconventional, unorthodox type styling and sound, but then we get the likes of Assign Anonymous and Overlap, where I feel like Assign Anonymous seems like a song that is like, I've heard something like this before, but it's different in a Billlie kind of style and manner, because the overall dynamic, how the members work off each other's, from the ad-libs, the vocal directing, the delivery, the projection, like whoever vocal directed them, I'm pretty sure it was like Minjishin or Mayuaki Saka or someone else out there outsourced, did an incredible job for Assign Anonymous. Like I said, got me very reminiscent of like Red Velvet, Luna, Gohan Sonya-esque vibes for that one. The song that had lesser of that feel, but still some, was Overlap, One by One. But what I got from both of those songs, very easy to listen to, a lot of replay value. But again, the one thing that I want to emphasize upon there is that experience factor to it, where it's like, wow, it's going to be a whole new experience. It's going to hit differently every time you listen to these B-sides more and more. And that's what I personally experienced on their first mini album, right? The likes of The Rumor, the likes of Flippin' a Coin. There was a lot more sampling on those tracks, but there was like a whole new experience with every B-side. And I feel like this is another no skip type album. Now, whether can I say that this is my favorite Billlie mini album, can't necessarily say that. I think this is very on par with their first mini album. And like I said, for Ginga Minga Yo, I feel like is almost the exact new start that Billlie wanted to go for, and everyone who was working with them and directing them behind the scenes, right? Because now we have Shun fully in the mix of promotions and all. Like, sure, we had Snowy Night, we got a glimpse of that, and also prior to that, with Shun in the works near their debut era on live stages and stuff, and even in choreography, dance practice videos. But with this one, again, I feel like it is another new start in a good way that adds to their discography even more and gets me excited for the future for Billlie, right? And I like how they came through with different genres this time around as well. A lot of consistency in this one, bringing in Minjishin, right? But again, I feel like Believe works. Maybe they can come through with a pop ballad or ballad again in the future, but not necessarily directly towards fans, you know what I'm trying to say? I feel like just having any sort of consistency there without directing towards fans would be great. But if anything, like, you could still have a meaningful song like that, or you have a song directed to the fans can be still meaningful. You just gotta also include all the members, because they're capable of coming through with something special clearly when it comes to lyrics, and who knows, maybe on the composing side in the near future. But yeah, so Ginga Minga Yo, still my favorite, hands down. B-side wise, I gotta give it to Assign Anonymous being my favorite one. Believe will slot right under that, but I think I'm gonna listen to both songs as equally, or the entire album that I've kept in the loop, similar to their first mini album that I kept on the loop for a long time. And then I would have to go Moon Palace, slightly overlap one by one. It's like neck and neck, you know, very conflicted with it. Moon Palace being more of my type of cup of tea and style, while Overlap, it has a good amount of duration, and I really liked how the composing side of things, how Overlap was done in that one. Hopefully we will get a best of both worlds in the future, or one leaning towards the more experimental, unconventional, unorthodox side in the next comeback. If anything, I still hope that they have that kind of arrangement where it's like unpredictable in the future, because like I said, there was that spectacular post bridge, another dance break similar to their debut song Ring X Ring and all for Ginga Minga Yo The Strange World, right? So yeah, let me know your thoughts, guys, about this second mini album. I think it's exactly there on par with their first mini album. I gotta give it, as much as I do not like the duration for some of these songs, hint hint nudge nudge, Moon Palace, I gotta give this a 10 out of 10. I think the reason why I wouldn't give this a 9 out of 10, because I know in the future that this is going to grow into a 10 out of 10 throughout the weeks, months, and days, and hours, and all. And it's that simple. I'm going to keep this in the loop for a long time. And I'm going to check out more variety. And if there's any of the performances and live singing of these songs, definitely going to check it out for the Patreon and the channel. Let me know your favorites as well in the comment section down below. I'm sure a good amount of you, just like me, will really love Moon Palace and Believe. But as always, be sure to like, share, maybe subscribe, as it helps out the channel so much, and just warms my heart connecting with y'all about Billlie in the comment section down below. And as always, have a great day, have a good night, have a good afternoon wherever you are. This has been Garrison, as always, and peace.